Hello students, welcome to Geography class of 8th standard. So far we have discussed natural and man-made disasters, its introduction, effects of disaster and disaster management. This is your lesson number 4 and today we are going to give focus on page number 50 to 53 of your geography book. Objectives of the topic are to study and discuss about the role of government in disaster management, NIDM, a case study on floods in Assam and its effects. Before we start the topic, let's discuss the important terms of the day. Number 1 is flood. It is an overflow of a large amount of water beyond its normal limits. Earthquake, the sudden vibration in the earth's crust. Fire, a rapid persistent chemical change that releases heat and light and is accompanied by flame. Let's start with the book reading. Students, take out your page number 50 of your geography book, lesson number 4, Role of Government in Disaster Management. The Government of India has enacted and notified the Disaster Management Act on December 26, 2005. It aims at to make the disaster management plans effective, to ensure the measures of prevention and mitigation effects of disasters, to undertake a holistic, coordinated and prompt response to any disaster situation. Students, environmental degradation and disasters are closely linked and it is always the poor or lower middle class people, especially in developing countries, who are most affected. Thus, for the success of disaster management plans, we have to reach to the root of the problem and get rid of the cause itself. The Government of India, along with the United Nations Development Programme, has formulated a disaster risk management program in which special emphasis has been laid on preparing the communities to face various hazards by generating awareness. The National Institute of Disaster Management, NIDM. The National Institute of Disaster Management, Delhi, is responsible for the training of government officers, police, people's representatives and various development agencies. The people and various institutes are trained to cope up with disasters. A number of safety measures to be taken during disasters are also taught in these trainings. The safety measures to be taken during several disasters are as follows. Number 1 is flood. It is an overflow of a large amount of water beyond its normal limits as a result of an increase in water level of a reservoir, heavy rains, dam burst, etc. And safety measures are: be aware about the location and routes to the closest safe shelters. Keep a first aid kit handy. Keep strong and long ropes for tying things. Candles, torches, matches, radios, etc. should be in reach. Stock of clean water and dry food items should be kept. Keep medicines, soaps, etc. along with waterproof bags. Second is earthquake. Earthquake, the sudden vibration in the earth's crust. Safety measures are: do not use lift during an earthquake. Run away from construction areas. If trapped inside a building, stand close to an interior wall or at the corner. Protect your head by covering it with some objects, that hands, etc. During an earthquake, do not sit inside a car. Also, learn some basic first aid techniques. Next is fire, a rapid persistence chemical change that releases heat and light and is accompanied by flame, especially the exothermic oxidation of combustible substance. And safety measures are: Do not keep flammable liquids in the house. Keep a fire extinguisher at home and learn how to use it. While leaving home, make sure to switch off all the electrical and gas appliances. Keep the matches away from the reach of children. You must know the phone number of the fire station of your area. So, these are preventing measures to be taken by individuals during floods, fire, and earthquake. Next is a case study on floods in Assam. Assam is a land of two mighty rivers, Brahmaputra and Barak. Each year, these two rivers and their tributaries cause floods in vast areas of Assam, which leads to human misery and devastation of nature. This year, more than 30 districts, including Lower and Upper Assam, have been severely affected. Several factors, including natural and artificial, are responsible for the reoccurrence of floods in Assam. First and foremost, Assam lies in the heart of monsoon belt and so gets overburdened with rainfall every rainy season. Secondly, the existence of long ranges of mountains on its northern and eastern boundaries compels the water to flow down into the vast plain, causing the rivers to swell. Thirdly, every year due to heavy natural as well as artificial landsliding, Assam loses hundreds of kilometers of its land area. This soil erosion makes the river shallow, which lateral helps in the creation of heavy flood. Come back to the reading. Take out your page number 52 of your geography book. A case study on floods in Assam. Assam lies in the northeastern part of India. The state is famous for its wildlife sanctuaries, wild animals, archaeological sites, tea plantation, and the Kamakhya temple in the river Brahmaputra. The river Brahmaputra is one of the most significant rivers of the world. During monsoons, the river Brahmaputra outflow and causes flood conditions in Assam. The state faces flood condition almost every year during monsoon season. The major causes that are responsible for the flood condition in Assam are as follow. The mighty river Brahmaputra. It is the world's sixth largest river in terms of water resources, carrying 629.05 km³ per year. Its total length is 2,906 km. 918 km of the river length flows through India, which includes 640 km of its length flowing through Assam. The river has 41 tributaries. The river Brahmaputra is the immediate cause of flood due to heavy rains. The river Brahmaputra and its tributaries flow above the danger mark. The excessive water level causes severe floods along its route, especially in the lower areas of Assam. Second is geology and geomorphology of Assam. Geology means the science which deals with physical structure and substance of the earth, and geomorphology means the study of the physical features. Third is the drainage congestion due to man-made embankments. Congestion means congested. Embankment means a wall to prevent a river flooding an area. Fourth is human encroachment of riverine areas of Assam. Encroachment means acceptable limits. Next point is effects of floods on life and environment. The primary effects of flooding include loss of life and damage to building and other structures, including bridges, sewerage systems, roadways and canals. Floods also frequently damage power transmission and sometimes power generation, which then has knock-on effects caused by loss of power. Come back to the reading again. Effects of floods on life and environment.
Houses and other constructed areas get damaged. Boats and different fishing equipment may get lost in coastal areas. Many people and livestock may drown in the floods. Some of them may get seriously injured. Clean drinking water gets contaminated, which leads to serious illness. Sudden food shortage due to loss of harvest and crops. Floods may also affect the fertility of soil. The soil gets eroded by flowing water. So these are some effects of floods on life and environment. No doubt, the government has taken several flood control measures to lessen the effects of flood in the state. Immediate assistance of NDRF and SDRF flood relief measures, including setting up of relief camps, free distribution of food, clothes, medicine, cash compensation for the lost property, etc., are undertaken by government. The chief food control measures has been construction of embankment along the banks of river in the affected areas. In recent years, India signed a treaty with China in which the latter has agreed to provide hydrological data of the river Brahmaputra during monsoon. Although it is not possible to flood-proof all of Assam, several measures should be undertaken for a long-term solution. Like forecast and warning must be given through media, radio, TV or other public system so that people are well informed. Wetland must be retained, they absorb the flood water. Deforestation must be prohibited and close watch must be observed. A thorough research is required before planning any construction of a dam or any such project to foresee its effect on the surrounding areas and people inhabiting it. At last, all over the world, the frequency of disasters is increasing as a result of degradation of environment and changing climate patterns. However, it is better to find out the main cause of disaster and work at eliminating them instead of waiting for them to happen. With that, we have completed our today's topic and fourth chapter also. Hope you understand well. You have to revise it and solve the related back exercise. We will meet very soon. Till then, have a nice day.